Hello. I am back. Hello, song. Right, so I already did that one. This is Rad Gravity. Oh wait, that's the... Hello, Pori. How are you guys today? Sector Epsilon 6 is basically a Baaabyyyyy level, and I tried to do it last time, but I couldn't do it very well. I ended up scrapping that video. But this is the review of it. Very interesting and creative level, but some design issues prevent me from liking as much as I'd like to. The first three Noble Nickels are the biggest offenders, really. The Baaabyyyyy one isn't terrible, but I feel like some of the spike maneuvers are a tiny bit too tight. The shield block route is fine to actually get onto, but I'm not a big fan of the Big Eye Room, because if you get bad RNG, then it can force you to either use a utility or die. I really don't like the auto-scroll route, though. The first part is some really precise spike dodging, and it just is not fun. The second part with dust blocks is sometimes really unclear on what you have to do, and I died a lot trying to figure it out. Also, it feels like whenever you get a trinket or nickel, a lot of the time there's no way out other than dying, especially trinkets since they don't save on level completion. There's not many one-way screen transitions, so it's hard to return to the main hub without your trinkets without dying. However, past the complaints there, this level is fantastic. Thank you for providing a map. It was a bit hard to understand at first because of the lack of a "you are here" marker, but once I figured it out, it was extremely helpful and eliminated loads of guesswork. The reverse gravity is used very, very well here, and I love the interactions with the count bombs. The Yoku block sections are really cool and varied too, and... excuse me. I'm glad to hear it, Song. And as an exploration level, it's pulled off incredibly well because no one path takes you very long to play. But the actual playtime comes from trying to 100% it. The VVVV references are really funny and clever, and the bonus VVV area is really fun. And I adore the little touches with the room name. The boss fight with Captain Viridian is really fun, and the fights with engine default bosses aren't too shabby either. I love how you pulled off the Mega Dragon fight. Overall, the level is really, really good and incredibly well built. There's just a few flaws that bring it down and prevent it from being truly amazing. Honestly, I don't like this level much. I have nothing against it personally, it's just... it's too long and too overwhelming for me. Wow, this level is absolutely huge, which is the reason why I don't like it. There are 3 energy elements and several different paths to go with collectibles along the way. However, I think this level is a bit too excessive, and it can be annoying having to backtrack all over the place to find everything. It takes an hour or two to explore the entire place and get every single item. It felt kind of like a small version of Super Smash Bros. Brawl's Great Maze. However, I took as many routes as I could find. The Yoku block puzzles were nice, but one of them requires the player to make some really wide jumps. The difficulty isn't very consistent. Those auto-scrolling sections on the top route were insanely hard. My biggest issue with this stage was the amount of teleporters. I wouldn't mind those by themselves, but this stage is so big that it takes about 10 seconds to load, so it can be annoying having to wait for that several times in a row. Overall, though, I think this is a good level. It just felt like a bit too much at parts, that's all. Submitting a level like this to a contest is a really risky move if you ask me, since what this is more closely resembles a full game than it does a standard level. I think it's a level that needs time and dedication put into a playthrough in order to be truly appreciated. This level is massive, as evident by the map and endless collectibles that can be found if you're up for an extra challenge. The map was a really helpful inclusion in the level, and while I think it's silly that you need to take a screenshot of it, it makes traversing the sector much less painful to traverse. As far as difficulty is concerned, this level does a good job at introducing several gimmicks in their own secluded areas and ramping up their difficulty as you go along. In a sense, this level can be described as a variety of interwoven levels. I really enjoyed this level as a whole, and the secret exit for getting all the trinkets is easily my favorite section, being a huge VVV nerd myself. That said, the level does have its issues. For example, many sections of the level are fortunately completely trivialized by the player's utility items. Another point of criticism is that I found the auto-scroll sections to be rather precise at times, and the noble nickel in this section can easily lead to an unfair death. I collected it while upside down and found myself stuck in that little box. In addition to this, accessing and proceeding in that area can quickly use up the player's weapon energy for various utility items. I also wish it would have saved trinkets across playthroughs, not just death. So yeah, overall I gotta stress that this level game really needs a few hours of dedication in order to be truly appreciated. I gotta say, I'm more than impressed. I don't think there's a single level in this game that is more creative than this one. I really liked how well the stage layout was used with the different creative gimmicks. I also had a lot of fun exploring this stage and finding new secret paths. I also appreciate the inclusion of a map, but it's honestly not that well. However, I unfortunately can't call this a perfect level. The level design isn't top-notch, with many sections requiring trial and error, extremely precise movement, or a combination of the two. Additionally, I think there's one noble nickel that you can't get without dying. Also, I'm slightly upset over the fact that if you wish to collect all trinkets, there are various points of no return scattered across the stage, meaning you'll have to restart the whole level to get them. Finally, there's a lot of sections that can easily be broken through using special weapons. But seriously, even though this stage has so many problems, the concept behind it is absolutely fantastic, and I really appreciate the effort put into it. Would it not have been the problems I mentioned, it would easily be a perfect stage in my eyes. I'm personally in agreement with Ace Spark here for this one. I have a fair bit to say about this level. Interesting concept, it's basically a mini exploration title in a single level. The use of gravity flippers in a novel way is great, and individually most areas of this level are by themselves good, if sometimes great. Hell, the stage is so convoluted it comes with a map, which unfortunately is not in a mini-map a lot in Metroid, but for a single level that would be hard to program. This stage is also incredibly frustrating. Does not take the fact it relies on instant death into account with its checkpoints, defies basic player logic at times, and asks for far too many finicky moments in succession that any fun with the level, concept, and music is killed stone dead. I had to quit this stage and do something else 4 times. 4. Every time I reach some sort of stopping point, I take it. This is one of the few stages where I did not want to keep playing, but felt like I had to get a full experience. First major drawback, the lack of background. The entire stage is almost entirely black, and this is a major detriment to the player's enjoyment and actively hinders this stage a lot. There's no way whatsoever to tell what is and isn't a pit in this level. It'd be nice to know that in advance before the player throws themselves down into the abyss. The map provided color-coded sections. These sections are the same basic tile set the rest of the stage uses, so the player can be left rather confused as to what sector they are in. More background details were definitely needed, if only to help lessen some of the confusion. The second major problem with this level, the instant death. It's not handled well, especially given how exacting the requirements are every so often. What kills your stage dead in my eyes is the Mecha Dragon route. The spike drop is harsh, the auto-scrolling segment is worse, the final few maneuvers, all of which must be done on a strict time limit thanks to the scroller, are extremely tight and use a mechanic that is not entirely natural to a player's timing. Not only is there no checkpoints between the spike drop and the auto-scroller, there is no break at all in this section at all. Sometimes it is not a matter of how long the segment is, but how difficult the challenge in question is. Any of these segments, although hard, would have been fine by themselves. Combined, they ruined this sector. To give credit where it is due, the second auto-scrolling segment is rather fun, very well designed, and actually has a checkpoint. The Gravity Man route is a tad weird, the Oku Block area surprisingly is fine, the Cow Bomb route has a jump in the stage, which up until this point has not required weapons, seemingly requiring a weapon to bypass, or if it doesn't, that jump must be pixel perfect or something, because Mega Man saw the bottom of that pit many, many times. Either way, it comes out of nowhere. Finally, there are the collectibles, the nickels, and the new trinkets. Here's the final nail in this stage's coffin. Getting these sometimes requires the player to die after collecting them. This is really counterintuitive and goes against any instinct the player would have. The endgame after the trinkets is rather good, but by this point, this player has played the stage for an awful long time and probably wants to leave, so it comes off as irritating. The fact that the trinkets are not saved between attempts at the level don't help. The new boss, it exists. Yep, the alternative attack pattern uses exactly once is rather fun, if lasting for a bit too long, and spends the rest of the battle doing absolutely nothing threatening whatsoever. If you'd mixed these up a bit, this fight would have been entertaining. Overall, great concept for a level, but man, this level annoyed the life out of me. And this is the reason why I don't want to play this level. At least not very intense, because it has three energy elements, and it's like 2 hours long at worst. And I don't want to spend that much time on a single level, personally. This is Truffle Man. I already beat this level, but I'll beat it again. Since last time, I discarded the last episode. Oh man, I'm tired. The reason why I stopped last time was because I was getting really tired and yawny, and I couldn't keep my eyes open. And I was starting to zone out a lot. Which I'm starting to do now, actually. I'm starting to zone out. I might skip the next, I might skip the next, reviews. Just comments. The level is very intense, yeah. And there's quite a bit of instant death from what I remember. Thank you, Song, I appreciate that. Oh, I forgot to turn something on. I forgot to turn on the green stars. So if you guys have seen the new BNHA chapters, Deku has gone absolutely bestial. He is now a demon. No! Oh. Alright. What do you mean is that his Deku? Oh. What do you mean is that his Deku? Oh, no. Deku is not normally a beast, but he certainly can go rather bestial if you give him the opportunity. Oh yeah, he is about using his own power. He's about, yeah. That was close. Yeah, he turned all the quirks into his own power. All the quirks he has into his own power. Spoilers, by the way. He's all about using his own power. And he certainly learned how to use his own, make it into his own power. Are you one of the few people that actually knows who I am? If you are, then you deserve a nice big cookie. I do know who you are, Dynaman. You're from, Mega Man DOS. Kunos. Mount Saber. Oh, I remember this one. This is based on an old game. I wonder if Pori will recognize this game, because I certainly don't. Simi has scaled this mountain to rescue the residents of Leaf from the grip of the Dragonian army, but he's been gone for far too long. I'm afraid our hero may be in danger and needs your help. Go after him and see what you can find out. Have a safe journey. They're running. Man, I kinda want to do Equestria Bound all over again. But this time upgraded with better sound quality. Well, that's cool. Herbs. Down we go. Herbs and berries. Dragons. I got distracted for a second looking at the chat. Thought I saw a new message. Oops, that was wrong timing. Really bad timing. Oh, crap. Well, I missed a green star, that's all well. That was close. Nice effects. He's already dead. I am the great General Kelbask. I am one of Dragonia's finest four. You better hope you're a high enough level to damage me. They don't tell you these things in the instruction manual. Wahahaha! And he goes flying away like Ozzy. Are the rest of the villagers okay? I really appreciate your efforts. This madman with crazy eyebrows came down in a floaty capsule and trapped Symbian, that web dude who looks like a fish, when he jumps in here with me. You must put an end to his devious plans. He accidentally left behind this strange glowing orb. Take it with you. Surely it will aid you with your quest. You're cheering for me. So nice. Oh, right. Oh, hey, more references I don't get. Very interesting level, though I'm not sure if I like the first half all that much. I don't really think it introduced the new enemies and its concept very well, and the usage of the melting icebox is okay at best, and there's a couple awkward jumps that annoy me. Also, the zombies don't actually run into you, they stop right in front of you. Once the level gets to the second half, though, it gets a lot more interesting with some actually pretty difficult setups involving those Soundwave enemies. Excuse me. It actually plays really well, and I like it. And I like it a lot. The level also has a lot of charm going for it too, with funny dialogue through it, and it just seemingly really clashy in an adorable way, seeing Mega Man just running around in what seems to be your typical NES RPG that didn't actually leave Japan. So while the first half is pretty weak, the rest of the level is strong enough that I can still call it a pretty great level. This is so cool! I have no idea what game this level is based off of, but I really liked it nonetheless. My main issue with this was with the cave section. The green Dratini-looking things and the spiders were spamming way too much. The bats were annoying, and it seemed like my shots went through them. Also, the boss was pretty boring, and it felt like more could have been done with it. Still, the level is pretty fun overall, and has a nice aesthetic, making it an enjoyable experience. What a charming stage! It feels like an adventure, and somehow the top-down plus side-scroller mix works beautifully. It's a bit long, but really well designed, and doesn't suffer from its aesthetic either. I think if it was stripped from all its custom graphics, it'd still hold up as a fun and interesting stage. I think the enemies here have a bit too much HP, and some jumps and sections can be rather tricky to overcome. It wasn't that hard, no. You're right, Song. Especially when relying on the Buster, but this stage is great regardless. By the way, Song, remind me to show you some images from the most recent BNHA chapter with you, after I'm done streaming. I kind of feel bad not knowing what franchise this level makes reference to. Even that aside, I really like the ideas used and how they were used. The only part I didn't like was right before the boss gate, where it took me a long while to figure out that you can actually climb the blue wall like a ladder. Other than that, the level design is fairly solid, although I didn't like the very precise ice block section, and a few other places with enemies requiring precision or timing to avoid. Other than that, there's not much else I can say about this one, except that I really like it. I have no idea what this stage is a reference to, admittedly, but it is a neat idea for a level, and that is really all this is a clever idea that is not expanded upon to any great depths. You nailed the look of the stage, though. It's seriously unique. Mega Man traversing an overhead landscape? Cool. Nothing in the level actually taking advantage of this unique opportunity? Boo. At the very least, nothing feels like it's pointless or added for no reason, so the level is at least coherent. Still, by purely platforming standards, it's fun enough. Your new enemy assets are solid, even if a few of them had perhaps a little too much health. The zombie comes to mind. I wish I had seen more platforming gimmicks of some description, especially if you weren't going to take advantage of Level's situation with the enemies. There's only one unique non-enemy gimmick in this stage, towards the end of the level. I really wish it was more than a mere cutscene in practice, though. Other neat features were the opportunities to talk to the NPCs. I kind of wish there were more of them, honestly, as the writing isn't half bad. The boss was alright. I'm rather surprised I never saw him use that sword of his, which he showed off in the intro. Maybe just another attack would have benefited him from being ultimately really forgettable. I'm glad he showed up all the same. Great idea and wonderful attention to detail too. Alas, the execution is utterly average. Could have done with a bit more of a push to utilize the advantage the concept had. I've been trying to make up space jokes, but coming up with a good punchline is a huge pain in the asteroid. Guess man's asteroid. I think I remember this one. Yeah, I remember this one. God, Pony, can you hear me? The spaceship is carrying supplies, rare materials, and for some reason innocent puppies for Wily's new asteroid base. I need you to go through the engine room and take control of the bridge so we can bring the cargo back home safely. Expect heavy resistance on the bridge. Wily has undoubtedly sent his best robots to defend this cargo. So there are two paths in this stage. Mega Pony goes, or, you know, you could overload the power core and blow up the spaceship. I swear, when I build your replacement, I'll make sure he's a pacifist who never wants to blow up anything. Luckily, you've landed on the asteroid where Wily is constructing his new base. Why don't you see what else you can destroy? No, get away from me. No! Wow, I should have seen that coming. Yeah, the boss is rather forgettable, I agree. I enjoyed the stage overall, but it's not one of my favorites by any means. No! F me. Well, indeed. Cool. At least I got it. That's all that matters. Cool, I'm already almost dead again. Oh man. This kills me inside. First time I ever played this stage, I did not have this much trouble with it. But also part of it's impatience. I could easily beat this if I used utility weapons or had more patience. Like that, see? There we go. Oh, thank you, yeah. No, I still died by it anyway! No! I knew it was coming and I still died by it. The drills are interesting enemies. So there's a Noble Nickel back here, a secret back here. Unfortunately, I can't get it now because I already hit the checkpoint and the Eddie is gone now. These board dispensers are on a proximity trigger, so please refrain from charging past them. Like a woozy water buffalo, it's becoming difficult to find replacement parts to rebuild you. Why my last shipment of materials never even arrived because the delivery person blew it up! So it appears the asteroid is now hurtling towards the sun. My soap opera should be over before you get incinerated, so keep exploring until I'm ready to teleport you out. Yep. Come on! I'm really bad at these proximity dispensers. They are brutal. It'd be easier if I wasn't so impatient. The boulders are not only brutal, the rocks they spray out are also brutal. I don't remember how to get there. Oh well. I accidentally killed the Gutsman instantly. I was supposed to fight that Gutsman down there, but I accidentally killed him instantly. Really nice level. Oh, right. There we go. Energy element in this spaceship, or delivery ship, or whatever. Really nice level. The whole plot of the level and the dialogue is really funny, and there are many moments that caught me by surprise, like the spaceship blowing up and Eddie. The mining theme of the level is pulled off really well, and there's a bunch of mining themed gimmicks that are introduced well and in a safe environment, and the difficulty is properly ranked up. I really like the usage of the Drillman lights. It's a complete subversion of their intended use, and it's really neat. I was also very pleasantly surprised to see the Maypalm drills get usage too. Considering their function in this game, probably the only part I don't really like is the part with the Drillman rocks. But I feel like that's less just it being not as good and more just me being terrible at dealing with them. So I wasn't the only one who had a hard time dealing with them. The boss was neat and funny, but I feel like the arena got a bit too cramped at times due to it having lots of Drillman rock spawners in it, but they're just some tiny complaints in an otherwise pretty great level, and it's overall super fun to play. Also, I found that kid in Yasichi Heart. Man, who knew Dr. Light was so good at dry humor? Anyway, this was a pretty fun level. I really enjoyed the space challenge it provided. My main issue was the room where Eddie is just sitting there until he shoves an instant death throw in your face. That's not fair to the player because they won't see it coming. It's not terrible because there's a checkpoint in the same room, but it's still pretty annoying. A few sections towards the end went a bit crazy with the falling rocks, too. The boss, on the other hand, was a super fun and unexpected fight against two Gutsmans. Or is it Gutsmen? If only I had actually gotten to fight them. Really cool journey. I like the progression in this level, going deeper and deeper into the asteroid. This level's use of the drills was pretty creative, and to be honest, I kind of wish it put more focus on them throughout. Eddie's secret weapon is the best thing ever, though. Sometimes I found the enemies to be pretty tricky to get to, or the rocks to be slightly too frequent to make it past safely. But aside from that, I really like their placements. I also like the little secrets hidden in this level and the secret exit. Really cool level overall. I found the concept of this level interesting and executed fairly well. Despite that, it just doesn't feel that interesting. However, I think I like the Easter eggs hidden throughout the level, and I like how you can finish this stage by just skipping the first mini-boss. Other than that, it's enjoyable, but that's about it. To the creator, you dickhead. You absolute dickhead. If you're reading this before you've played the stage, you'll know exactly what I'm on about as soon as you see it. Actually, all told, you made me laugh a lot. This was fun for that reason alone, but thankfully backed it up with some very solid level design and really nifty usage of dev kit assets. You turned what sounded like the most boring level and theme possible and put as much pizzazz as the dev kit assets let you. Your best feature next to the humor is you playing with player expectations. You subverted several times and always left me wondering what you could possibly pull off next. You also did a pretty good job with gimmick conveyance, so even new players should understand what game mechanics they should expect out of you. I wasn't a big fan of the falling rocks. There's a few too many of them in spots, which kills the pace, nor the noble nickel associated with the gimmick, but everything else is pretty damn spiffy. There was one or two iffy jumps and the aforementioned dick move that let you down a bit, but I think a lot of people are going to like this one. Also, hi Gutsman, you were used well, and that's great. To anyone playing this, find the second energy element. That shows this guy's commitment to the comedic arts. So I really like this level. I just don't like the placement of the boulders. The boulders suck, but other than that, the level is really good. Hey, you! Hope you've been enjoying yourself. Must be fun going through all these simulations with all their enemies and buggos. And death spikes, and bottomless pits, and bosses, and perilous platforming, and please don't be mad at us! Sheriff Man. Ow! That was an accident. Wanted posters. death? Yep, that's death. Cool! Yes, the bolt. Oh, that was close. Oh, mother effer. The nuts and bolts are for, our money to buy upgrades and, parts. Like the energy balancer, the shock absorber, the thing that makes me able to put more than 3 bullets on the screen at once. Stuff like that. They're also for buying energy tanks, which you don't really need to do because there's a really good place you can farm energy tanks really easily without buying them. They're also for buying costumes and the like. I almost missed that jump. Why is there a shield face in this? I always used to think those shield faces were cars. What a blazing hot sun. Oh man, that sucked. You caught me, I was cheating. Glad you enjoyed my inevitable death though. Instant karma. Oh, shoot. I thought a cat wanted in. It's Proto Man. Thank you, Proto Man. Oh, there was a green normal nickel that I missed. Okay. So this is Sheriff Man, of whom we have their weapon. His weapon. Kill me. Yeah, you can charge your Buster. I just don't charge my Buster very often. It is pretty amusing, I agree. It's like playing Pong. I win! I was playing around with the weakness weapons. I could have beat him easily if I was more careful and more patient. Oh, right. What Tomahawk Man stage should have been, to be honest. Yeah, very close. There's a lot of inspiration drawn from the stage, really, with the Coltons and the Wavy Sun and Proto Man showing up. The whole level just gives me serious Mega Man 6 vibes. It might just be the enemy choices. Speaking of enemies, those vultures are amazing and I want to see them used more, lol. The level itself is really great and fun to play, and I really love the tiny little details present, like how you have the saloons in the background and the wanted posters of Mega Man and Proto Man. The whole Western vibe in the level is just really awesome, and the boss fight with Sheriff Man is very fun and fast-paced too, which is surprising because the boss is a shield user. The whole level is really just pure fun, and I love it. It's a great level overall, it looks and plays fantastically, and it feels very professional. That was awesome! Seriously, I won't be surprised if this level makes it to the top 10. It really felt like something straight out of a Mega Man game. The backgrounds were awesome, especially the sunset with that heat wave effect. The gameplay was fun, and the enemies were fitting to the stage's theme. Those birds got annoying, though. I really liked the secret Proto Man encounter. You were the only person in the contest to do that. And of course, the boss, Sheriff Man, was a lot of fun to fight. It was a battle with fast-paced attacks that kept you on your toes without being too hard to learn. Fantastic job. Man, I absolutely love the frequent changes in the environment and how the level changes accordingly. I feel like the design, while cleverly built around the aesthetic, still somewhat suffers from it though. The level reuses a similar progression of hopping over pits and shooting different enemies throughout, which can get rather boring after a while. Some enemies near the end were placed in tricky positions, which made them hard to predict if the player doesn't know they're there. But aside from that, the level is fair and fun to play, and the boss is also a lot of fun to fight. Thank you. Good boy. I appreciate the gift. I really like this one. The Western theme was awesome and the level was well built. I think there's a few moments that are slightly annoying or boring, but it's still very Meow. Yeah, that was Jacob. Very boring, but still very fun. Also, I really like the graphics and music in this stage. Nothing else to say here. Man, so much effort put into what is ultimately quite the forgettable stage as far as design goes. There's so much right though, and to not praise you for what you did do right would be a sin. The boss was awesome, even if a wee bit easy, and your sole other new asset, the buzzer, was brilliant. The tile set, music, and graphical flair of the stage was, wow, stunning. This was really pretty, and your two new assets hit the Mega Man style completely. But then there's the rest. To put it simply, this is one long stage of nothing but enemies. It brings to mind memories of Woodman's stage. Mega Man at its best is more than that, with actual platforming challenges to maintain your interest. This stage really could have benefited from platforming gimmicks. This is a shame, and had you paid more attention to some of the other aspects of this level, we'd have a contender for one of the best stages in the game. I did have fun, and the level is solid, don't get me wrong, but objectively from a design standpoint, I felt this was average, if a bit below average. I look forward to seeing the boss in the arena. Tier 9 boss. Meow, meow, meow. So, if you beat this boss first before going and beating Milk, Milk becomes Strawberry Milk. What the heck? Excuse me? Ah, Mega Pony, I've been expecting you. I apologize for the delay. I had to churn a bit of some training. I have seen some extremely weird stuff in this festival, but this? Butter and milk fetish? Mice fetish? Furries? In my game? You act like you're surprised. You see, I have an apprentice named Milk. They were like a son to me. Then I had heard that a replica of them had been sent to this festival celebrating you as a boss. I was deeply offended. I had to set right this injustice. Wait, why would you get offended over that? It was just a hologram. It was a symbolic death. You have no respect for a comrade. I cannot forgive you. We must duel. So if you beat Nezumi before Milk, Nezumi says something different. You probably remember this from World Mithril's playthrough. Because World Mithril is a good guy. There. Yeah, we did watch it a while back. It was quite a while ago, at least a year, maybe longer. I'll be right back. Israel, you're getting in my way. You're stepping all over my cord! Yeah, probably more than a year. And I'm back. Also, I have honey barbecue Fritos. They're delicious. I like them. Although they feel like they would taste better on meat or a meat substitute than they would on chips. But they work on chips too. Thank you. It's kind of fancy. I found it at the store and it was rather cheap, so it's not like super fancy, but it's fancy to me. It was a nice change of pace. So we have only 2 more tiers left, and also Wily, and also Zero, if we want to do Zero. So Mr. Kuram, who was a judge in MaGMML2, made Boilman. Normally being so revolutionary in MaGMML2 by going left at the start of a level gives you a free Noble Nickel, or E-Tank. Unfortunately, I can't offer that, as they're actually all hidden across the level with challenges guarding them. However, if you want, you can find a free bonus boss that you decide to include in this level for fun. You'll get some goodies for beating it, I suppose, but you can almost certainly completely ignore it and just judge the actual level, rather than my silly boss behind this door. Disclaimer, I am not responsible for any meme injury caused by the boss intro. I just can't defeat Airman. Airman is so sorry. Alright, that's no problem, son. This will probably be the final level I do then. Then I'll stream more tomorrow. I'll stream more games and more stuff tomorrow. Instead of Putting it off until late in the night. Sound good, song? Sound good, Corey? Alright, cool. I really should be more patient, but I'm not really going for fancy points at the moment. So you see how there's bricks down there? It's because there's a secret down here. No! No! Oh no, and I have to go all the way back. No. That was an explosion lobster, or whatever those things are called. God, I hate these things. Get away from me! That thing hopped out of the screen. By the way, I have beaten this game before, with not too much difficulty. I've never 100%ed it, of course, but yeah, clutch HP. I get that a lot sometimes. I got that with Link Between Worlds when I played it in hard mode. When I played Link Between Worlds on hard mode, I finished the final boss with only one hit remaining at the very last second. I've beaten this game before. I've beaten all the way up to Zero's Castle or Zero's Tower, or whatever you want to call it, which is in Tier X. But I have never 100%ed this game. I've only gotten all the Chaos Emeralds, all the energy elements. I've almost gotten all of the Noble Nickels. Jesus Christ. Wow, that was entirely my fault. There we go. Problem solved. If all else fails, solve your problem with explosive jack-o'-lanterns. Wait, there's a thing down there. See, you can tell because of the bricks. Hurry, go up! Oh, that was close. I hate those tight jumps like that. I've never been... Ooh, that was close. I've never been a big fan of tight jumps. Okay. That's good to know. No! I'm all the way back here! Kill me! No, please. No, this is an accident. I regret all my life choices. Whoops, that was an accident. Whoops. No! No! I'm all the way back to the start! No! Oh, no! No! I don't want to jump across bubbles. You can't make me! Wow. Good on me for keeping missing. And here's Boiler Man. Reminds me of our Artillery Man, or what we have planned for Artillery Man. Are you weak to ice cream? You're not weak to ice cream. You are weak to this, though. There we go. Picado 24s are usually very annoying to deal with, and it's also the case here. While most of them are well placed, the nature of the enemy means you're just going to be firing like an idiot, hoping that your shots will line up with their like 2-frame period, that they're vulnerable. And when you have stuff like Fireboys constantly firing at you while you're trying to do this, it just becomes not fun. That being said though, the rest of the level is really good. I really love the usage of the Wave Man bubbles and the sea mines in general, and the sea mines especially are used in very clever ways with a variety of enemies. The custom enemies are pretty interesting, and the crab guy is adorable, and they're used in tandem with the default engine assets very well. The Noble Nickels are a challenge to find, and I like all of them except for the first one, because Picado 24s. The fight with Boilman himself is pretty good, though I'm really not sure how to dodge the attack with the triple flame pillars and Boilman triple jumping. Seems like the safe spots Boilman just blows steam, which apparently hits you, and the fight with the air capsule is pretty great too, and it's a neat take on the capsule type boss. Also, I had to go to the hospital because I was mauled by the memes. Overall, really great level that just gets brought down a bit by the Picado 24s. Really nice level. I really like the custom fire enemies you made, especially the squids. I didn't like the Wave Man bubbles, particularly in the last room before the boss. That section was very difficult compared to the rest of the level, which was pretty easy going. I also disappointed in the lack of Man pipes. They would have fit this stage well. Man himself had a really cool design, but his attacks were really hard to dodge. Edit, the second time I played this, I went left at the beginning. Hey Mr. Kyrium, nice meme you got there. This one took me a while to grasp. It's a good stage with a lot of attention to detail, and 2 cool boss fights. However, the only part where the player will ever die is the final stretch to the boss. There is basically no challenge provided in this level. Every enemy can be tackled one at a time, with only fire boys and the squids being used to complement other enemies on screen occasionally. I found playing through this stage to be rather boring, simply because basically nothing is ever threatening or important enough to stop the player from advancing. I feel like a mid-boss or two would have helped this stage greatly in shaking things up. I had fun with the bosses though. They are not perfect. Air Capsule 2 suffers from I can tank hits until he's dead syndrome, and Boilman himself I've had a lot of trouble with predicting. Dodging his landing shockwave is difficult to do even if the player slides relatively early, and even then he can use his blast to chase the player down before landing. Not that much of this level stood out for me, but I had quite a bit of fun playing it. Still, the types of enemies and obstacles used can be annoying at times, but the level was mostly well done. The new bosses and enemies are also pretty awesome, and the stage looks very good overall. Solid stage here, folks. This guy knows what he's doing. You took one gimmick and squeezed it for all it's worth. That is very commendable. Ultimately, this has a great look. The music is perfect, and the selection of enemies is right for their situation. It's not without faults. One of my issues is things being associated with Boyle. This really just feels like a fairly generic water level with a few fire-themed elements thrown in. And they're almost out of place. As good as the gimmick used is, it probably could have done with furthering the theme and using another one. The boss is pretty good with his variety of attacks and selection of attack patterns. I do find he's not on the very threatening side. I never felt in danger during the fight. I died to him once due to having 2 hit points left. Any other time he dies without me even so much as paying attention. I think the player needs to feel the full brunt of the boss's attacks lest they actually do what I ended up doing on repeat playthroughs, not bothering to dodge and just shooting the bugger to death. I also feel that Noble Nickels are tacked on at times, with their challenges being far easier than what the main path throws at you. It's a bit awkward. These are minor problems in the grand scheme of things. The level is just straight up solid, and I think Capcom would be happy to see such a level in Robot Master in Mega Man 11. Oh, when I found the secret hidden boss, I laughed. He was good. I know I lied to you at the last festival, but I've learned from my mistakes. I'm a new man now. I definitely won't make any more cheesy jokes this time. Nope, no way. Next level is Komuso Temple, which I kind of like. I like Komuso Temple. It's not my favorite, but I like it. First time I played it, I had a really hard time with it because I didn't realize I should use the Sakugarne. Voltman statue.